you want to take us into the next team?
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets are next, and I feel like this is a pretty easy, self-explanatory one because they don't have many options to break out. So it was
Kyrie
just
Irving.
default Kyrie. I mean, Nicolas Claxton, go Dogs, obligatory shout out there. But it's all about the defense because this team needs someone who can play defense, and he's the option. He can guard a bunch of positions. He can reasonably protect the rim in smaller lineups. There's still more offense to plumb from him if injuries strike and they need some source of offense beyond the big three. But who else can you pick here?
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought, look, if you wanted to pick rookies, Cam Johnson might just be an instant bucket. So, oh, not Cam Johnson. Oh my God, I gotta stop. Look, all apologies.
You've switched those two up a number of times.
Well, no, I've called him Cam Stewart as well. So apologies to Cam Thomas. But you could pick him, but we excluded rookies. And just like, unless you think that Reggie Perry is going to get real minutes for this team. And I think it's more set up for Nicolas Claxton to actually be a breakout player. You don't have Jeff Green there, who is very important to your 5 rotation. You did bring back Blake Griffin, but you're apparently on the verge, it looks like, of brokering a buyout with DeAndre Jordan. So there are just less obstacles there, even after drafting Day'Ron Sharpe. And this is just, given how much the net switched last year, like, you almost have to view Claxton as probably your starting. Maybe he's not your closing 5, but I would think right now he's your main center. Perhaps it's always just sort of this mismatch in Brooklyn, but he is just one of the switchiest bigs that we have seen in quite some time. And I think you can work with him on the offensive end. He's not going to space the floor, but he got better at screening. He will roll to the basket a ton. And this stat still blows my mind. Among 511 players who stand 6'10" or taller and have logged at least 300 minutes in a single season since 2013, 2014, Claxton ranks second in partial possession spent defending point guards. He trails only last season's Ben Simmons, and that comes per the Basketball Index, a great site. So I think he's kind of their only option, but he's almost necessary too for them at this point. And they kind of didn't rely on him so much last year. Let's see if he also stays healthy enough to log a ton of minutes. And I don't expect him to play. If you gave me an over-under of 22 minutes per game, I might be reticent to go with the over there. I just think with the lack of other options, how do you pick anyone else on this team?
My 2 random observations about Nicolas Claxton. One is that I kind of think that he could become like modern Andrei Kirilenko on this team. Like, that's the guy I keep coming back to when I think about what his ceiling might look like. And I'm just curious what you think of that.
I don't know that I see it. I guess perhaps on defense.
Mostly on defense. Not so much on offense.
Man, I keep going back to that possession in crunch time where Nicolas Claxton just like shut down Damian Lillard and want to say yes.
Right.
But that's like, will he consistently defend the positions outside of center enough, though? And I don't know.
I think he will, just to preserve the offensive standouts. It makes sense to have him switch.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you have the other personnel in Brooklyn, you kind of need to. I think really what might be the determining factor is how much do they want to go with Blake Griffin / Bruce Brown at the 5. Those are probably the 2 guys that I think could most cut into his minutes. And James Johnson's there too. So it still might be this sort of hodgepodge role. But if you had to guess who logs the most minutes per game at the 5 this year, I think Claxton's number 1 and no lower than second. Like, maybe Griffin is 2, is first, but he'll definitely be in the top 2.
My other random observation is that it is a downright travesty that his jersey number is not 17, because NC-17 would be a phenomenal nickname for a guy like that who's just a defensive havoc-wreaking specialist.
Okay, I'm with it.
So this is the official start of my petition to get Nicolas Claxton to change his jersey number to 17.